Today, Team UFO brings you 4 recent unresolved UAP cases from the AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. What makes these so unique is the fact the US government can't even wrap their heads around what was captured, so let's get right into it after I apologize about my voice. Not sure if I'm getting a cold or what, but I am congested. All of these objects were captured using IR sensors on various US military platforms. The AARO releases very vague data and explanations, as you can see here. This first clip is from somewhere in Africa back in 2022. You can see that they are tracking what looks to be a spherical object. It's hard to tell what speed or altitude this object is at. In a moment, you'll see a second object come from the top left of the screen, moving at least twice as fast. After the second object moves out of view from the camera, they continue tracking the first object. Zooming in on both objects, neither one has the shape of a plane. They could be birds or drones, but let's face it, the AARO could have easily went with those narratives and didn't. The second object looks more like the highly reported cigar-shaped crafts. This footage is only 31 seconds long, which makes you wonder why. Did they lose track of it, or did they finally get a good view of it and don't want to tell the public? Here it is again at normal speed. This second clip is 8 minutes long, so I'll only show the interesting bits. All these can be found directly on the AARO's website. This one comes from the Middle East back in 2023. Here again we have another sphere. This time the camera seems to be lower to the ground, which helps with seeing the speed of this object. After about 2 minutes, the camera starts to zoom in more. It seems to be emitting an aura of some kind. Could be heat reflecting off of it from the sun, or maybe an engine which is generating the heat. Or could it possibly be another balloon? We know how that goes. The object also appears to be rotating. This was the best still frame that I could get. You can clearly see that whatever this object is, it's not in the shape of a plane or a bird. It almost looks like a jellyfish or a parachute. My question is, if it is a parachute, how is it moving so fast? And also, it's not, following the Earth. As the video continues, it eventually leaves the field of view of the camera. And again, here's the vague explanation from the AARO. Next on the list is another weird one from the Middle East that I call the TIE Fighter, although this time it's from 2024. Yet again, it's hard to tell what we're looking at in the background. The AARO needs to start giving out some basic data. It doesn't need to be the specific location, but at least the altitude of the camera and its speed, even maybe the time of day would be nice. Now, I call this object a TIE Fighter because at the start of the clip, that's what it resembles to me. The strange part is, the object seems to be bouncing up and down. I know we can't make out the foreground, and the camera is moving, but at times when the object moves up or down, it seems unnatural compared to the foreground. I'll let this one play out for a little bit. Now, they add a blue filter to the camera and the object takes on a different shape. The fascinating part is not long after it seems to change shape, it does this. I don't know if it's a weird light or a heat reflection, but it almost looks like it's using RCS thrusters that are on our own spacecraft. When that happens, the object seems to move. Again, hard to say since there is nothing we can go by in the background. Now it seems that the camera is having a hard time, so they turn the blue filter off and zoom out. The object seems to be close to its original shape, as it floats around for about another minute or so. Now nothing really interesting happens, so let's fast forward towards the end. The object appears to start phasing in and out. Now what makes this very strange is the camera had no problem keeping focus on the object this entire time. Now the camera could be going in and out of focus, but again, without being able to see any bit of the background, it is very hard to tell. What I can tell is that either way, this looks very strange, as it just sits there for the rest of the video looking like that, out of focus, or doing whatever weird thing that this thing is doing. Now for this last one, we're headed back to 2023 in Africa. This closely resembles the first video, but it's a little more interesting. Now, just like with the last videos, I'm assuming that they're trying to find something, whether it be a target or just, the government doing government things. But at least with this one, we have a background. Now, the first object that appears will be coming from the bottom. When it passes by, it's like whoever's operating the camera doesn't even see it. But then a second one comes by, which looks a lot like the first one. It's almost as if they still don't see it, but then a third. And this third one is a lot bigger. This first object doesn't seem to be a sphere. It looks like another cigar, clearly not a plane or drone. It could be a bird since it was moving slow, but with a blob for an image, it's really hard to tell. Now the second object looks to be the same as the first. Same shape, size, and speed. Now as the second object comes from the bottom, there is actually a third in the bottom right corner. It quickly vanishes into the clouds. This last object has an odd shape to it. It doesn't resemble anything that I can think of. If these objects were a group of birds, you would think zooming in, you'd be able to see some kind of movement. But instead, when we zoom in, we get this shape. I'm not saying what I think it looks like. Anyway, the rest of the video is nothing more than the camera moving around trying to find these objects again, which it doesn't. So, of these 4 unresolved cases, which one would you find the most interesting? What do you think any of these objects could be? Let me know down below. If you enjoy the video, leave a like, and if you're interested in anything alien related, be sure to subscribe. Until next time, keep looking up.